Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. Today's episode is one of my monthly episodes where I create your own cozy home, and I'm doing it in my home. Today, I'm going to show you how I tackled my dining room. You may ask, how do you create a cozy dining room? Well, stick around. So first, let me get started. I am sitting in what we in our home call is a create room. It's just kind of like a little bonus room. It's what started out as my creativity room where no fighting was allowed, where mom comes to hang out. And my husband and I hang out in here every morning after the kids go to school. It's where I have my cup of coffee, stare out the front window and look at the birds. But something that I see straight across from my normal seat is this dining room. And while we do not have a lot of formal dinners, and I know a lot of people use dining rooms as like a makeshift room, this dining room is something you see right when you walk in the house. It's something I see all the time when I'm in this space. And I have in my head said, you know what? I wonder what it would look like if I did the chair rail a color or a neutral, just anything but white. And I got stuck in fear and I was frozen because I couldn't make a stinking decision. So I just kept staring at it and looking at it and going, this would probably look cool, but I don't know. So I finally bit the bullet and started looking for some wallpaper to help me decide on my chair rail and molding color. And the whole project just kind of snowballed from there. I'm gonna say that this wallpaper is not my husband's favorite, and I'm also gonna say that I just know it's gonna grow on him. I did show him a bunch. He didn't like anything, and there were like 3 or 4 that he was like, well, that's okay. And this was one of them that he said, that's okay. So I ran with it. I am going to go a little bit through the process with you here and hope that I can inspire you to maybe relook at wallpaper. It is nothing like the old kind of wallpaper. I have hung that before, and boy, have I stripped plenty of rooms with that before. And this new peel and stick wallpaper is not the same animal, and it doesn't look like it's peel and stick wallpaper. So let's go ahead and get started on this project. To start off with, I just wanted to acknowledge that this is a very beautiful dining room. It is a new construction home. That light fixture came with the place. That is the first ever table I ever built, the 9-foot table for my old home, but it felt kind of sterile and not very special. So the first thing that I did after doing the samples was paint the bottom chair rail. And I did time this one day. I did the whole room times 2, and it only took me 3 hours. Now, I was the only one doing the painting. Piper would go get a wet paper towel if I made a mistake. And then the next weekend, I cut in the top molding. I do not like to use painter's tape. Am I the only one? I feel like I'm not very good at it. I would rather cut it in, and then the second coat makes it look so much better. You just go nice and slowly. You use a little bead with an amazing paintbrush, and I feel like you can get a really good look if you have a steady hand with little to no prep. That's how I roll. So this was a week later on a Saturday. I was like, well, let me just paint this top molding and that'll be it. So I did go around the top of this room on a ladder times 2. And honestly, I was over it. But look, this makes this room look so much better. I just felt like it looked sterile before, and just adding this warmed it up quite a bit. But the next space is to wallpaper this little area. It is a 3-foot area. I just double checked so I would know how much the first sheet of wallpaper would need to be. And basically just started from there. I cut it where I would have stuff over the top and over the bottom, kind of like decoupage paper. You want to put it in place and then do your trimming. I ended up getting them on the Lowe's website. I paid around $32 a piece for them. My particular color happens to be on sale right now, but I did get them from Lowes.com. They shipped to me for free, and the great part is I can return. I bought a total of 6, and I only used 4 and 1 sheet, so I opened a total of 5, which means it cost me around $150. This particular tool was $6, and that was totally worth it. I did technically read the instructions, but I feel like it was pretty intuitive for me once I got started. The thing that they suggested is to make sure your first piece is level. So here's Camden bringing me the level from the basement. And it said, really make sure your first piece is level. You draw your line, you make sure it's level, and then make sure from the top to the bottom you have it straight so that as you add to it, your whole room looks good. I would love to say that I totally did it, but I did not. I got off in a few places, but it all turned out in the end. I did end up fighting with the back of this. This is a peel and stick wallpaper. It is not at all like the old wallpaper, but I didn't know that. Like the first piece, I was so nervous that what if I put it on here and then I have only a certain amount of times to readjust. It was unlimited adjustment. The stickiness never went away. When I accidentally stuck it to each other, that pulled right apart. I ended up realizing you can pull about half of the sheet, pull the back down, and work really well with that. But again, for the first part, I was just trying to figure out, this is my first time doing this with the peel and stick, and I wanted to use that little thing and get all the bubbles out. But turns out you can get it on there, and if there are bubbles, you just pull it back and then you readjust it. So much working time with these particular things. I would like to apologize for some of the coloring on this. We needed the window to be open so I could see what I was doing, but it did not cause for great filming. But again, the process of pulling the back off, getting the bubbles out, making sure it was straight. This corner piece, oh my gosh, this was the worst piece. I had decided I did not want to cut seams at the corner. I don't know why. And I just knew that I'd be able to get the left side down and then, get it nice and straight on the right side. And I eventually did, but this one was a little bugger. I worked really hard on this one, but after doing a bunch of corners, I should not have been so stubborn. I should have just cut a seam at the corner and then matched it up. That would have probably have been the best thing to do. So Piper is here helping me. It does suggest 2 people do this. I think after I got used to it, I could totally do it with 1 person, but I was only doing 3-foot sections. I think if you're doing a complete wall, then I could see how you'd really want someone to hold it to help you get it straight the whole way down. But once you have it up, you can pull it off and readjust, and you don't really need 2 people for that part. Honestly, the hardest parts of this room were the corners. So if you start off a project just doing like a focus wall or a focal wall, that would be a breeze. It would just be one rectangular wall and you trim it after you get up there. That would totally be the best way to start out your peel and stick wallpaper journey. You can see that right here at this opening, I'm just cutting from the back on the tool. And then now that it's all up, I'm glad I did my painting first. And that way, even if I'm off a little bit, the paint is still there and I don't have to worry about getting it on my wallpaper, and it just peels right off. Now, this is the spot that was left after 4 rolls. I had to open a 5th roll just for that little spot, but I'm glad I've got the excess roll. You can see that these are all my excess papers that I had cut off, but none of the prints matched correctly. Also, my particular piece of furniture, I need to paint it. I was thinking about going gypsy green, but it is not quite the right color. So I'm still trying to figure out what color I want to paint this so it stands out a little bit more. Would love to know what colors you suggest for this console table. This table was my very first grown-up console table for a dining room, and I think the size of it is right, but I want it to be a little bit more special. So let me know in the comments below what you think. My cozy tips for a dining room. I feel like this is the room that can add some dark color, some moodiness. It had a lot of natural light, so I felt like this room could handle it. And then I love, love, love this architectural piece. This is something I convinced my sister to buy for her house. She spent $250 on it and then never used it. So I got that for free. And then add some greenery. I think that adds a cozy factor too. I have some live plants near the window. This one right here is a faux olive tree that I got from Amazon, and I have that in a basket. I feel like adding the basket color and those wood colors help warm the space up. You can see that I have the table that I built, which helps make this room cozy as well. Some lamp lights, some curtains. Like, I just feel like fabric and the rug and the curtains make a space cozy. Lighting makes a space cozy. So be aware of the tone of the lamp bulbs as well, because you can get a warm tone and that really helps the space. And then don't forget to add a little candlelight. It doesn't have to be a special day to turn on a candle, because you got the light and the smells. I would love to know in the comments below some stuff that you guys do to make your spaces cozy, and let me know, what do you guys think in the comments below. So what did you guys think? I know that I am in love with it, and I also know that it's probably not everybody's style. If colorful is your world and that is what makes you feel amazing, then make it your space. That is, I think, my biggest trick for creating a cozy space, is just make it something you love. It's a challenge when there are multiple, like when you have a spouse that doesn't have the same aesthetic as you, but you can usually find ways to meet in the middle. I just know that the warmth that the darker molding created, and then just like the intentionality that this room now has, it just makes my heart so happy. One of my favorite times is in the evening when I have my A is what I call her, so that she does not, Aunt Alexa, turn dining room lamp on. See? Is when she is set in a routine to automatically turn on all of our downstairs warm lamps. She turns them on 20 minutes before sunset, and it's just like it's evening time. There's just like this cozy evening feeling, and that's one of my favorite parts of the day. She does turn off at 10 o'clock as well, so that I know, you know what, girl, get to bed, because the alarms, kids are going to school the next morning. The alarm is going off the next morning. So what do you think of my new space? I know I'm so happy with it. Did I inspire you to look around your place and maybe do an accent wall with some peel and stick wallpaper? It's really not a super expensive project. And with this new wallpaper, it's not a permanent choice either, which is really freeing to know. Like, if you don't like it, you know, it's just a little bit of money. It's not 2 solid days of stripping wallpaper. So let me know in the comments below what you thought about my new space. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel, hitting that notification bell to all. On Fridays, I do DIY videos with some thrift flips, and you want to make sure you get notified when those are up. So thank you so much for being here, guys. I hope that I've inspired you to create your own cozy home, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye. Love you, Mama.